What if the dead refused to rest? What if they walked amongst us, hungry for the living? A chilling thought indeed, when the line between life and death blurs, when the dead rise, not to seek redemption, but to feast on the living. This is the terror of the undead, the nightmare of zombies that has haunted our collective psyche for centuries. Zombies. The very word conjures images of rotting corpses, of lifeless eyes, and an insatiable hunger. But where did this concept come from? How did it seep into our folklore and our nightmares? The undead, the living dead, the walkers, the biters. These creatures of the night have many names across different cultures. They are the embodiment of our fear of death, our terror of the unknown. These are not just monsters from horror movies or tales spun to frighten children around a campfire. They are deeply ingrained in our folklore, our myths, and our legends. The origin of zombies traces back to Haitian voodoo culture, where it was believed that a sorcerer or bokor could revive the dead through complex rituals. These risen beings were said to be devoid of will or consciousness, enslaved to the bokor's commands. Over time, the image of the zombie evolved. The modern zombie, as we know it today, is a far cry from its Haitian roots. It is a creature of horror, a ghoul with a ravenous appetite for human flesh. It is a symbol of our darkest fears, our deepest dreads, a nightmarish vision of a world overrun by the living dead. Our fascination with the undead is a paradox. We are simultaneously repulsed and fascinated by them. They terrify us, yet we can't seem to look away. We create stories, movies, and games about them. We imagine scenarios of surviving in a world overrun by them. But why? Perhaps it's a way for us to confront our fears, to explore the unknown, to gaze into the abyss and see what gazes back. Imagine a world where the dead walk. Horrifying, isn't it? But there are tales where this nightmare becomes a reality. In the shadowy corners of history, the seeds of the undead were sown. The undead, our chilling companions in countless horror tales, have roots that burrow deep into the fertile soil of human fear and superstition. From the dawn of civilization, we have been haunted by the specter of death and the terrifying concept of the dead returning to walk among the living. Imagine, if you will, an era untouched by modern science. A time when life was a fragile flame, easily snuffed out by disease, war, or even the harsh realities of daily survival. In these ancient times, the line between life and death often blurred, and the fear of the unknown was a constant companion. It was in this shadowy landscape that the first seeds of the undead were sown, in the form of myths and legends passed down through the generations. In the ancient cultures of Egypt and Greece, tales of reanimated corpses were used to instill fear and respect for the power of the gods and the mysteries of the afterlife. In medieval Europe, folklore was rife with stories of the restless dead, spirits trapped in purgatory, seeking to drag the living down into their eternal torment. Fast forward to the New World, where the Haitian Vodou religion birthed the term zombie. Here, the undead were not supernatural monsters, but the tragic victims of powerful sorcerers, their wills enslaved even in death. These ancient tales have woven a rich tapestry, intertwining threads of fear, fascination, and respect for the unknown. They've shaped our modern interpretation of the undead, influencing our books, movies, and nightmares. Today's zombies, shuffling and groaning, are the direct descendants of these ancient horrors, their origins tinted with the same primal fears that have haunted us since time immemorial. These ancient tales are but the beginning, a prelude to the true horror that awaits. So, as we delve deeper into the dark abyss of the undead, remember, these stories are more than mere fiction. They are echoes of our past, reverberating through the shadowy corridors of history, reminding us of the terror that lurks just beyond the veil of death. In the realm of fiction, the undead have risen, bringing with them an insatiable hunger for the living. Horror and suspense have found a fertile ground in the world of zombies. These creatures of the night, reanimated corpses with a voracious appetite for human flesh, have been the central theme of countless tales in literature and film. From the early works of H.P. Lovecraft, where the undead were often depicted as victims of arcane and forbidden rituals, to more contemporary stories like World War Z by Max Brooks, where the apocalypse is triggered by a virus turning humanity into a swarm of mindless ghouls, the zombie narrative has evolved and adapted, always keeping its audience on the edge of their seats. And let's not forget the cinematic masterpieces that have brought these tales to life. George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead, a film that redefined the genre, introduced us to a world where the dead rise from their graves and the living are left to fend for their lives. More recent films like 28 Days Later have given a new spin to the zombie trope, presenting us with fast, rage-filled monsters, a far cry from the slow, shambling corpses of yesteryears. Common themes pervade these stories: the fear of death, the collapse of society, the struggle for survival, the blurring line between humanity and monstrosity. These are the elements that make these tales truly terrifying. They reflect our deepest anxieties, our darkest fears. They force us to confront the fragility of our existence, the thin veneer of civilization that separates us from chaos. These tales of fiction are chilling, but what if such horrors were not confined to the realm of imagination? In the deepest depths of our fears, the apocalypse awaits, an era of the undead. Imagine this, a world where the dead don't stay dead, where graveyards are not final resting places, but rather the cradle of a new horrifying existence. A world where the line between life and death is blurred beyond recognition. This, my friends, is the concept of a zombie apocalypse. In this chilling scenario, society as we know it would crumble. The institutions we've built, the laws we abide by, the order we've established, all would be swept away in a tide of terror and chaos. Our way of life would be overturned, replaced by a primal struggle for survival. Cities would fall silent, their once bustling streets echoing with the hollow groans of the undead. Our technological marvels would be rendered useless, our comforts stripped away. The concept of time would lose its meaning. Days would be marked not by the rising and setting of the sun, but by the relentless pursuit of the undead. Nights would be filled with dread, every shadow a potential threat, and yet, amidst the terror, humanity would find a way to adapt, to fight, to survive. Picture this. Families would band together, forming alliances for protection. Our homes would become fortresses, our neighborhoods the front line in a battle against the undead. The value of human life would be amplified, every heartbeat a victory against the horrors that lurk in the shadows. But even in this grim reality, there would be glimmers of hope. The human spirit, resilient as ever, would shine through the darkness. Stories of bravery, sacrifice, and love would be etched into the annals of this new world. They would serve as reminders of what we were, what we are, and what we can be, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. An apocalypse, a world overrun by the undead, is a nightmare beyond comprehension. But remember, nightmares have a way of coming true. In a world of the undead, survival becomes a terrifying game of life and death. Picture yourself in a world where the dead walk among us, where every corner holds the potential for a life-threatening encounter. To survive this chilling reality, one must be prepared both physically and mentally. First, let's delve into the physical challenges. Strength, speed, and endurance become vital in a world overrun by the undead. Regular exercise and maintaining a healthy lifestyle will be crucial. But it's not just about physical prowess. Knowing how to use whatever you can find as a weapon, understanding the importance of quiet movement, and learning to ration supplies are all key survival strategies. Now, let's consider the psychological challenges. The constant fear, the lack of sleep, the loss of loved ones. Surviving the undead isn't just a physical battle, it's a mental one too. Being able to stay calm under pressure, to make quick, rational decisions, and to keep hope alive even in the darkest of times. These are the characteristics of a true survivor. But survival isn't just about the individual. In a world of the undead, community is more important than ever. Forming alliances, building trust, working together, these are not just strategies for survival, they are necessities. While the undead may seem like an unstoppable force, remember that they have their weaknesses. They are slow, they are mindless, and they are predictable. Use these weaknesses to your advantage, and you stand a chance of surviving this terrifying ordeal. And finally, let's not forget the most important survival tip of all. Stay human. In a world where humanity seems lost, holding on to your morals, your empathy, your kindness, these are what truly set us apart from the undead. Surviving in a world of the undead is a chilling prospect. But remember, even in the face of the undead, humanity endures.